I can't go another day with this on my mind. And I think it's time for a discussion. Why you so hard? Show me that you love me, baby. Why you so hard? Show me that you care. So many days, so many nights, so many tears. I had to cry. Told me you love me. That was a lie. Loving you was a mistake. 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 Play me like guitar, baby. You only love me for a reason. Play with my emotion, girl. And I don't wanna be your friend. Play me like guitar, baby. Love I have for you is real, yeah. While you're playing with my heart, babe. Let me tell you how I feel, baby. So many days, so many nights, so many tears. I had to cry. Told me you love me. That was a lie. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake.
Hello, and welcome to the Chatterbox with yours truly, King Jacob. I am that guy, the world famous King Jacob, where we break down the entertainment, the community, the kids, the youth, and we celebrate each other accomplishments each and every day that we're on the show. So today I have another star-studded episode, you know, with a special guest that's finding her way in this industry. She's climbing. She has a sensational voice, you know. Her voice is epic. Her voice is so nice, and I'm gonna let you hear it tonight. We're gonna be playing one of her videos. You know, I think the song is called "Is It On Your Mind?" Is that the name of the song?
Make Up Your Mind.
Yeah, Make Up Your Mind. So I'll be playing that, and you know, we'll be chopping up about her journey in this music business, which is not an easy journey. It's very difficult. It's a lot that you have to go through to really get noticed, you know. So with none other, you know, we have Miss Katherine Swain in the building.
Hi.
What's going on?
Not much. Thank you. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. So for those who don't know you, and for those who want to know you,
Yes.
and for those who should know you, who is Katherine Swain?
Well, I'm a singer-songwriter from Northern Ohio, and I am working with Fantom of the Beat, who is Haas G of the UMCs. So he is producing me and distributing music from Who Mag Distribution and Fantom Music. So yeah, I've been working on music for about the past 2 to 3 years as far as writing my own songs and trying to put myself out there. But I've been singing for my whole life. So it's and just trying to share that with everyone. And I appreciate all the feedback, of course.
Okay. So interesting. Let's start on how this singing journey started. And how you understood that you had the gift of song,
Hmm.
the gift of upliftment, the gift in engaging an audience
Hmm.
to captivate them, excuse me, with your voice. And
Yes.
so, when did it start, and where did it start?
Well, I've been singing since I was very little, just, I mean, like 2, 3 years old. I've just always sang, never had a problem singing for people. It just came out naturally. My parents aren't singers by far, but they're very musical. They love music. So I grew up in a house that was enriched with music, of course. And I had an older brother who definitely had a lot of influence on the early artists that I was introduced to and listened to. So I think that just his love for R&B and rap and hip hop just kind of made me also be intrigued in those genres from a very young age.
Hmm.
And yeah, I've just been singing my whole life. My grandparents were both singers and performers. So when I reached a certain age, I definitely had a lot of support from them as far as trying to get into music lessons and just trying to get into different plays and musicals and performances to kind of grow as a singer and get a little bit of an experience in that. So I definitely have my grandparents to thank for that, for pushing me along the way. And I was heavily involved in singing and music in high school. And then just kind of throughout my mid 20s, I fell back a little bit and was concentrating on other aspects of life. And then the past couple of years, I just decided to start writing again and working on music. And it's going great so far.
Great, great. So let's talk about the plays and the musicals and the
Mhm.
drama classes and things of that nature. So, because most singers are actors as well. Everybody who I know that sing took some type of drama class in high school or did some type of stage play in high school.
Yeah.
And, so how did that go for you? Acting and singing in a musical. And once your peers and your parents and your aunts and uncles and your cousins kind of sing this, what was the response you got? And and did that help you understand who you really were as an artist, just from the artistic form,
Right.
from the art form of music and body language and acting and things of that nature?
I mean, I always received like attention when I was younger and I would sing when I was a little kid. I had no problem. Like, I had no stage fright at all, which I do suffer from now. So back then, I just was very outward with it and was not nervous or scared at all to kind of put myself out there and just start singing for no reason or putting on some type of performance. So I always received like, attention from that. And I think I kind of fed off that a little bit. I also had a core group of cousins that I grew up with that would always be right there with me, like ready to put on a performance or ready to make up a dance to a song and that kind of stuff. So they definitely like helped me, I guess, like be comfortable doing that sort of thing. And then as I got into high school, you just have like different stuff that you kind of have to decide what you're going to go towards once you're in school. Are you going to be sporty? Are you going to be in the choir? Are you going to be, you're going to study a lot? Mine was definitely choir and performing more than anything. And I just got to a point where I was like, well, I want to sing. And I know that's what I want to do. So I started doing, talent shows and, any musicals that they had going on. I went to a really small high school though. So some of that stuff was a little bit limited. So me and my best friend, who also is a singer, we were in high school together and we just kind of were like a dynamic duo. We were always right there ready to put on some sort of a performance or, try to get musicals going and plays going, which was kind of dicey because of the size of the school, whether you had enough kids to do it. So it was just kind of the two of us through high school, and we just loved to perform and sing anytime that we could. So that's really what I concentrated on mostly. And, the more you do that kind of thing and the more you get response back from people that show support and show you that they like hearing you sing and they like watching you perform, it kind of, you feed into it, and it kind of helps you keep going because you are being supported by so many people that you look up to and you appreciate their opinion on it.
Okay. So, um, did you bring out a single first or a mixtape first, or how was your vibe? Because I tell people all the time, um, what I think is missing from the R&B and the pop world and the jazz, blues, and the country music world
Mm-hmm.
is, a lot of rap artists bring out their mixtape to get noticed. So I think, a person that bring out an R&B mixtape is gonna do. I think they actually do way better than hip hop artists.
Okay.
So that's why I asked you that. So was it a single? Was it a mixtape, or was you featured on somebody else's project? When people noticed you.
Yeah, so I was working with DJ Kid Magic out of Columbus, Ohio. I've known him for years and have worked on music with him in the past. So when I started to want to get back into music, that's who I contacted first. So we had worked on some demos, and I sent those to Fantom of the Beat, and they knew each other from back in the day because DJ Kid Magic used to scratch for the UMCs. So I sent my demos to Fantom. He liked them. We started working on music, and then we came out with the first single, Make Up Your Mind. So I have 3 singles out now, Make Up Your Mind, Stars, and Changes, which just came out. Mm-hmm. And we are planning on putting out either an EP or an album, but not yet. I still want to continue to work on music and hopefully create a good amount of songs to be able to pick from before I put anything like that out. Because being a newer artist, I still am kind of finding my sound, I guess I should say, and continuing to grow as an artist as I'm working through all this. So I just want to find a good core amount of music to pick from before I put it out there. But it's definitely in the plan, and it's definitely, in the future to put something like that out. I was featured on a mixtape for Who Mag Distribution. They put out like a Women of the World CD about a year ago that featured Make Up Your Mind. So that was exciting, and it was really nice to be a part of. They just had, a lot of their artists with their distribution company. They put together, a bunch of different mixtapes, but I was featured on one of them. So that was really nice.
Okay. So speaking of Make Up Your Mind, we're going to premiere it here on the Chatterbox with King Jacob. So nice. Ladies and gentlemen, and DJs, promoters, bloggers, program directors, publicists, all the above. So we're about to tap into Make Up Your Mind with none other than Katherine Swain. And here it is. Let's go.
I've been here with you since the start. Boy, why you play with my heart? I need to know why you're doing this to me. We've been through some ups and some downs. I've always been around for your love. Can't you do the same for me?
All right, we back at you one more again, and that was "Make Up Your Mind" by the world famous Katherine Swain. So let's talk about the single "Make Up Your Mind,"
All right.
and let's talk about the orchestration of it, the creation of it. Um, how was that cadence for you while you was in the booth recording it? So let's talk about the whole process of creating "Make Up Your Mind."
Yeah, Make Up Your Mind was very exciting. Just with it being my first single, that's exciting within its own right. And then shooting my first music video, which was amazing. I was actually in the studio in Columbus recording a different song when Haas had sent us the beat to Make Up Your Mind. And we kind of listened to it just real quick before I was getting ready to leave. And it was just one of those instances where like you hear a beat, or at least like I do when I write music, I hear a beat, I immediately know if I like it or not. So with that one, it was kind of like we turned it on immediately. We knew that we loved it. So I kind of sat and wrote the hook and the first verse really quick and just kind of recorded it really quick so I could take it back home with me to continue to work on. And yeah, it was just exciting. It was a great experience. And I hardly ever have a moment where like I'm writing in the studio. I normally write at home and then take everything to the studio with me. So it was nice to kind of have that energy from the studio session to work on Make Up Your Mind really quickly. And we just kind of came up with it on the spot right then, which was different than what I was used to. So it was just cool the way that it, naturally flowed. And we kind of decided right then and there that that was going to be the first single to come out. We just kind of knew, which is, I don't know. I just think it's great when things naturally flow that way and you just kind of, everything is very organic. And that's kind of how it felt with Make Up Your Mind. And the same with the video. Make Up Your Mind came out in March. I went to New York for the first time ever, and that following July to shoot the video. And it was just a beautiful situation. Everybody that was there and came out for the video was so supportive, and Haas and everybody that set all the details up before I got there. They picked the locations and everything that was, we used for the video, and they did a great job without ever meeting me, in person before that. And just kind of knew, what I was going for. I didn't really have to push for anything, which was awesome. They just had everything set up. It flowed great. I had just a really memorable weekend in New York that weekend. And yeah, I'll cherish it for forever. It was awesome. And,
Yeah.
I think it shows in the video that we had, a great time, and also
Yeah.
tried to, to make a good video to go along with the song.
So is that's gonna be circulating during the springtime? Is that gonna be like a female's anthem, or like what? I'm just saying, like it just sounds like it could be a female's anthem. It sounds like you can do a remix to it with some high end female. It sounds like once you get in the right hands and you do a remix to it, it sounds like it can go even farther than it is now. So and it sounds like you can definitely get it licensed to be on movies and
Right.
soundtracks and web series and stuff like that. So it's a pretty dope record.
Thank you. I think it's kind of fun being newer and being independent because I have, these 3 singles so far. We've pushed them each when they're released as much as we can in that moment. But with today's world, you put so much work into something, you put it out there in the next moment. It's like, okay, what's next? Oh, now that person put something else, so we need to go look at that. So it's kind of fun just to have these 3 songs, keep pushing as far as growing as an artist, but it's great because we always have an opportunity to go back if we want to, like you're suggesting with like a remix or something like that. So it's always an option, and it's always in the back of our minds. And I think that there's a good possibility that will happen in the future with both of my first singles, Make Up Your Mind and Stars, for sure.
And I do think that, see, what artists don't, I just need artists to understand that when you put out a new single, it take almost a whole year to break it. That's like
Right.
internet radio, FM radio, Sirius satellite radio, and overseas radio. So you may put some out in 2022, and
Yeah.
it may not get fully broken worldwide until 2024. And here
Right.
here you go, and here you got people like, we need to talk to her. We need to talk to her management. You know, you like that's how it happens, man. Like some records
You never
that
know.
I've heard, I heard Cisco from Drew Hill say, when he put out the Thong song, he's just like,
Uh-huh.
man, that ain't nothing. That ain't gonna do nothing. If we
Right.
just had fun.
Yeah.
So once we put in a couple of DJs' hand and people heard it, he said,
It
here
blew
come
up.
all these shows and music licensing and he's just getting calls from here, calls from there. So what artists don't think hot is hot to somebody else because
Right.
you got the down south market, you got the up north market, which is East Coast, all up and down the East Coast. You
Right.
got the Midwest market, you got the West Coast market, and you got overseas in the international market.
Right.
So even if it don't do good in the US, a DJ might pick it up overseas, and he may be an EDM DJ, a house DJ, or techno DJ, and he just might remix that thing, and here you go, you
You
have a
never
hit overseas.
right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what's old to me is new to somebody else. So you just never know. And I think that's what's fun about it. And I'm very like emotionally connected to the music I put out, and sometimes it can be hard to then move on to the next single or move on to the next thing, because it's like, wait a minute, I still like this song, or hey, I still had ideas for this. But that doesn't mean that those ideas won't happen in the future. So I think it's exciting, and I just look forward to keep growing as an artist and keep putting music out, really.
right. So I just must say that you're talking a lot of shit on this Make Up Your Mind, for real, for real. Yeah, you're talking a lot of shit. So with that being said, I just want to ask you something, just from a female, just want your perspective from a female.
Okay.
Is it a key component when females are talking shit that they definitely got a glass of wine in their hand?
I think it can definitely be a key component. The wine makes you say some stuff that you might not have normally said, and sometimes that can be a good thing, and sometimes that can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a key component there for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I see that red wine is like I was like, man, like is this a key component? Is this something that they must have before they talking shit, and then they sip some more, and then they start talking a little bit more reckless as they sip? Like, what's going on?
It can go either way, I think. I think it can go either way. You either start with wine and it keeps going, or you need wine once you get started. So it's definitely one or the other. One way or another, you're going to end up with a glass of wine. So that's all that matters.
Right. Okay, so moving right along. Tell me about your second single.
My second single was Stars. That came out last January, February. And it was just kind of, it was nice. It was a little different style. Make Up Your Mind was very R&B, hip hop vibe. Stars was R&B, but it was also what I call a club ballad. So it actually started in a cappella, and then the beat dropped. It was very club feeling. So yeah, it was fun. We wanted to do a video for it, but it didn't end up happening. But it was kind of one of those things like we just talked about, where you never know what will happen in the future. So that's always kind of in the back of our minds a little bit still.
Right. And so I must say I'm gonna give you your props for you to have MJ as a PR.
Yeah.
And you haven't been in the business very long.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can give that to Fantom, because he's who introduced me to MJ, and I've been working with her ever since, and she's absolutely wonderful. So I can't say enough things about her.
Shout out to Fantom. Shout out to Fantom ISG. So shout out to those guys, man. Well known in the industry, heavy hitters. But yeah, MJ is definitely a jewel. You know what I mean? I say salute to her, and I'm just so glad that she continues to work with me, and she just give me that open space, that open lane. She's like, I was like, send me some artists. She was like, sure. You know what I mean?
Yep,
What
she's got whatever you need.
yeah, she said whatever you want to do. So, you
Yeah,
know, and I just say salute to her. So
yeah, for sure.
now changes.
Yes.
Hmm. Tell me about changes. I was listening to it today on YouTube.
Hmm.
Really catchy. I think that it gives me a popish feeling as well.
Okay. Okay.
I can't see a regular R&B on the remix. I can see somebody on the remix like a Jesse McCartney, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like a JB,
Mm-hmm.
um, like a Nick Jonas, like a Josh Stone,
Okay.
you know, somebody like a Kelly Clarkson type sound, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'll bring a different dynamic to it as well. And I know with your voice mixed in with their melody blends, I
Hmm.
think that R&B popish type feel, you know, I think that'll kind of reel you in a new target market audience. That's why I
Right.
said that.
I can see that for sure. Changes I'm very excited about. I don't know. I just feel like it's leading me more towards the sound that I'm maybe naturally attracted to as an artist.
Hmm.
Um, I love the beat. The beat was produced by Bookowski, who is actually Fantom's brother. So that was awesome. He sent Fantom the beat. Fantom sent it to me. It was the same situation with Make Up Your Mind, where I heard it, immediately knew that I wanted to write something to it. I just immediately fell in love with the beat.
Hmm.
And so I did. I worked on it, and I went to New York last May and was able to record in the studio, which was awesome, in Brooklyn. It was the first time Haas and I were in the studio together, being able to work together, because everything up until that point had just been, through email and through phone. So it was
But you froze for a little bit.
oh, there we go.
You're good. You're good.
There we go.
And before you continue, shout out to Mr. Troy Scott, aka Concept 803, which is a really, really dope hip hop culture artist out of Columbia, South Carolina. So he's checking your podcast out. So that may be somebody who I can link you with, and y'all can, do some
Yeah,
business together. For sure.
that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Um,
No doubt.
So yeah, changes is great. And I've been, we worked on it in May. We pretty much finished it that night, and we've just been sitting with it since then. So I've been, anxious on getting it out there and letting other people be able to listen to it. So it's been great. The past couple of weeks, the feedback that we've been getting back has been awesome. And, I'm just happy that it's out there and that everyone can listen to it at this point. We definitely are going to do a video for it in the next couple of weeks. So we're just trying to gear up for that. And I'm really excited about that for sure.
Okay. So you definitely making power moves. You're doing videos for your singles. A lot of people don't do videos till later on, but you're dropping these singles. You're having visuals behind them,
Yeah.
and so I think that's a great thing. And let me ask you a question. For people that may want to know, with a sound like you have, do you have management or no?
I don't specifically have management. Fantom Music, which is Haas's recording label, is kind of taking control of management and producing. But I'm not necessarily signed to anyone or anything. So, there's this advantages and disadvantages to being an independent artist, but I'm just enjoying the ride right now for sure.
Okay. 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 No doubt. No doubt. That's great. So I always ask every indie artist this. I ask major artists this. I'm gonna ask you the same thing that I did ask Big V from the
Okay.
platinum selling group Nappy Roots.
Okay.
So what is your stake in? How do you want your music to inspire people, and how do you want your music to touch communities all around the world?
Um, that's a hard question. There's so many different answers for that, but I just want my goal when it comes to how other people look at the music. I want to be an artist like other artists were for me. I want to be the music you're going to put on when you're upset about something that day, or when you're happy about something that day, or when you have something to celebrate that day. I want to be, I want my music to be there for people like the other artists that I grew up listening to, and their music was there for me, you know, and that's who I went to when I was having a rough day and wanted to listen to something, or I just wanted to sing. So I put their music on, you know, if somebody else was listening to music and they wanted to sing and they put my track on to sing to, that would be an amazing feeling. So I think that's my main outlook when it comes to like having fans or anything like that. It's just I want to be an artist that, you know, people want to listen to, I guess, and their music helps them through something is really what I'm looking at.
Okay. So with that being said, another question for you, and people will be like, man, you like people just don't ask these questions, but I am. So, how do you want the media to perceive you, as far as red carpet, as far as TMZ, as far as the bloggers, as far as the music influencers, you know, as far as the content curators? Like, how do you want them to perceive you as a professional artist?
I want them to perceive me, and I want to be in those headlines for my music and my music only. I want that to be the reason why I have attention. I don't want it to be for drama this or drama that. I'm not looking into that at all, and that's not the reason why, you know, I'm doing this. I just want it to be because my music was worth mentioning or talking about.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you say your brand story is? Like, the Katherine Swain brand. Like, what is the story behind your brand, and why do you feel that your brand would be so epic in the near future?
That's a hard question. That's a good question, but that's a hard question. My brand, I haven't really thought about that a whole lot. I mean, I have, but
So,
not in a sense where I would describe
so
it.
what I'm saying, you know, if you had to break it down, would you say that your brand represents class, geniusness, education, uplifting, you
Mm-hmm.
know, community enlightenment? Like, so how would you break that brand down?
I guess I would say I want it to. I like I like uplifting. I like that word that you're using. I want it to be something. I don't want it to be a down thing. I mean, I guess some of the music that I listen to or sing is kind of more on the sadder side. So it's not, I guess, not always going to be uplifting, but I just I want it to be an uplifting thing for sure. I want, if I, you know, if I have to describe my brand, uplifting is a good word for it. And I think community outreach is incredibly important. I hope that if I grow to an aspect where I have the opportunity to give back to the community, I definitely hope that at that point in time in life, I still think the same way, because I do think it's very important. So I would love if one day my brand represented, you know, community and giving back and helping with education, and that kind of thing would be amazing. And I'm trying to think of how else to describe it. I just, you know, I trying to stay true to myself as most important. So whatever falls from that, I think, you know, hopefully will be perceived very well. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I need to brainstorm on that a little bit more.
Okay, so what would you say is give me three organizations that you want to work with? And when I say work with, I just don't mean donating. I mean work with as working with the organization to, like, say you want to work with the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to have a tour going around the country where your music impacts how mothers have lost their children, you know, due to drunk driving, or they have lost their children due to cancer,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, due to, you know, cerebral palsy, or something like that. So what are your 3 organizations that you want to work with so you can help impact and change lives of people that's going through?
Well, I think humans in general are partial to wanting to work with or organize with or donate with um, stuff that's impacted their life or someone that they love. That's kind of seems
Mm-hmm.
a common, denominator, at least in my viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to partner with like the Diabetes Foundation for sure.
Okay.
Diabetes runs through my family and has affected family members of mine significantly, and also my husband is a type 1 diabetic. So that's definitely someone, something close to home that would be great to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Another one would be any type of like fertility foundation. My husband and I have been struggling with infertility for a very long time, about 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I ever got to the point where I would be able to help in those aspects and help other people like me that have been affected by it, that is one that would be incredibly important and would be wonderful to work with in the future. And I think breast cancer would be important. My husband's mother passed away from breast cancer. I also used to work with a breast cancer surgeon. So I think breast cancer and breast cancer foundation would also be another one that would be really important and would be really moving to be able to work with.
I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. It's so I'm on the PR side as well. I work
Mm-hmm.
for a exclusive PR firm. So when I kind of interview clients and take them on before they get to the CEO,
Okay.
it's a screening session. So, but that's one of the questions that I do ask them about their stake in the community and
Yeah.
what are some organizations they want to work with. And the next question for you: do you see yourself owning a nonprofit one day?
That would be amazing. If I was ever in the opportunity to do so, then yes, I would hope so. That would be awesome for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
you definitely got the opportunity.
Yeah, that
Most
would be
definitely.
great. And I
Yeah,
would love
most
to
definitely.
do a nonprofit that's connected to any one of the 3 things that I listed for sure,
Right, right. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds beautiful for real, for real.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And so, from the political form,
Mm-hmm.
everybody said, "Well, I ain't into politics," but I tell artists, I said, "Well, if you want to change the world, then be the world. Then be the
Right,
world.
right.
You know, if you want to, change how people look at politics, then run a campaign.
Mm,
You are a sensational artist, so why not run a campaign? As far as with your local politician, or run a whole campaign where you're writing a song about what the people in your community needs,
mm-hmm.
and just slide on in there and talk to your local councilman, or your county or city councilman, or your house of representatives, or the people, the superintendent of education in your local district, and you just slide yourself on there and you sing for them, and you'll be amazed at how many doors is going to open for you, for real.
Yeah, I honestly never really thought about that. So that's a
Yeah.
whole nother, branch to look at as far as trying to get out there as an artist and
Not
give
a
back.
branch, not a branch. That's a whole nother beast.
Yeah, I'm sure a whole
Yeah,
nother
yeah,
beast.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's a whole nother beast, because when you're dealing with politicians, they know how to put you on stuff where you as an artist get certain perks from your state. They might be like, this such and such, they want this, so let me hook you up with my friend that's in the military. Because what people don't understand about the military, um, they have plans to bring artists all over the world and all
Yeah.
over the nation to perform for the troops. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they pay civilians to do so.
Mm.
So that's a whole nother beast for you too. Now,
Yeah. Interesting.
And yes, of course. So finally, um, will we ever see you in an acting role?
Um, I'm not against it. I think it would just depend on the role and when when the opportunity was brought to me. It's not something I'm necessarily like going out looking for because I'm definitely a singer. And I don't necessarily know that I'm that good of an actress,
What?
but
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, Kat, hold on now.
yes.
So when females like yourself that can really sing, that really can hit the highs, the lows, the octaves, the riffs, the runs, you
Mhm.
know, who can sing in second soprano, first alto, third tenor, you know, fourth bass, you know, I know a lot about the music, yeah, for sure. So, so you know, somebody told me that about a year ago. I said, man, so do you think that Jennifer Hudson and Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and Jill Scott, you know, said no to acting roles, or they never had in the back of their mind like this music and this acting and this modeling and this event hosting, all this goes together.
Yeah, it does.
Judging on judging
Yeah,
on panels, all this goes together.
right.
So why not invite yourself to the landing opportunity, you know, and just just stand on that opportunity because it's gonna come. As
Well,
long as you stay as long as you stay consistent with the music, those other opportunities will come and knock at your door.
definitely open to it for sure. And I think that if it was the right role where I felt moved by that role or that movie or that show or just the character in general, then I definitely, I definitely would be for it. I'm definitely not against it at all.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. And so last but not least, how do you balance it all?
I
Family,
I don't.
family, 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 music career, and keeping a sane mind and a clear mind, a level mind, and being at peace while you're doing it. What's the balance?
Let me know when you find out. No. um, it's I'm doing things that I really love and enjoy. And I think that's the key. Like I don't like going to work and I don't like, really that's mainly it. I don't like going to work, but I do it because it helps support the music, which is what I'm really passionate about. So I think it helps when you're doing things that you love and doing things that speak to you. Um, I live on a farm in northern Ohio. I have a lot of animals, if you couldn't hear them barking in the background earlier. Um, I have a big family. I have a lot of friends. So there's always something going on and there's always things to balance. But at the end of the day, I just try and do my best with it all. And I'm doing stuff that I love. I love ever since I've been working on the music again. I love it, and it's brought so much happiness to my life, and it's brought such positivity to my life that I didn't have for a really long time. So I think when you've gone through kind of darker times in your life, and then something is brought to you or something happens to you that's a positive and brings a positive light and outlook to your life again, it's
Hmm.
very enriching and it just makes it even more special, and it makes me realize how lucky I am to be in this position and how happy I am that I am in this position. I've always dealt with like insecurity issues and having to put myself out.
Hmm. Hmm. Well,
The
we're
it's
live with Miss Katherine Swain, and she's back with us. Go ahead and chime in.
but I was saying that it's just it's easier now to remind myself that I'm lucky to be in this position and I'm happy to be in the position that I am to be able to work on music these days. So um it's great. It's been great since I started working on everything, and it makes me happy as a human. So I think anytime you find something that makes you a happier human, you got to cling on to it as much as you can and balance it with everything else going on in your life as much as you can.
Okay, okay. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So, I just want to thank you and show so much appreciation, so much gratitude to you for coming through, just
Thank
stopping by the Chatterbox with King Jacob, just to drop some jewels on us and just to chop it up with us. So
Of
I'm
course.
I'm just glad, I'm just glad that you definitely stopped by. So for those who want to get up with you, get in contact with you, um, and just may want to know about your music and and they just may want to write you as a fan and say, yo, I appreciate what you're doing, and like, how can they get in contact with you?
You can find me on Instagram at the K Swain, and then you can find me on Facebook and YouTube just by searching Katherine Swain. And anything PR related, of course, MJ's Hip Hop Connects for sure.
All right, you heard it first. The Chatterbox with King Jacob, man. We appreciate y'all coming by.
Thank
I want
you.
y'all to I want y'all to be blessed. I want y'all to stay encouraged. I want y'all just remember there's lessons in your blessings. Until the next time, we out of here. Peace.